52-24. Buffaloes fall on the road in the Pac-12 here in Seattle, Washington, to the Washington Huskies. Along with Larry Zimmer, I'm Mark Johnson. Thanks for joining us in our Buffs recap here on 850KOA.com. And partner, it was 7-7, and then the Huskies just got ahead of steam and just rolled over the Buffaloes.
Well, they scored their first five possessions, actually first six possessions, and wasn't until the second half that they had a punt. And sort of getting old, but this is what the Buffaloes have to go through.
I'm not sure what to say anymore about these. I mean, we do know the Buffaloes are outmanned. There's no question about
Right.
this. It's becoming a season of attrition, really. Rodney Stewart goes down with an injury. John Emery told us after the ballgame at 850 KOA, he's probably gone for 2 weeks. Doug Rippey with a knee injury, done for the season. Paul Richardson already was out, probably not going to be back next week for Oregon. This team doesn't have a lot of playmakers to begin with, and they're running out of them.
They are running out of them. I think Keenan Canty has stepped up, and he's playing pretty well. But let's face it, he doesn't have that breakaway speed that Paul Richardson has.
Yeah.
He'll develop that, the ability to do things like that. But he's learning. This is the first time he's really played. You got Tony Jones now. I thought Tony had a fairly decent day. So the other guys have to step up. But let's face it, they're not starters, and they weren't starters for a reason. They're not the best.
Washington just shy of 600 yards of offense. They had 295 yards rushing in this game. That was a very un-Greg Brown type of defensive performance for the Buffaloes.
Very, very concerning, I think, that this is 2 weeks in a row the Buffs have given up over 500 yards in total offense. Now, agreed, Stanford, they're playing Andrew Luck last week. This week, you got a great running back in Chris Price, but I tell you, or Chris Polk rather, but I tell you, that low quarterback Price, not bad.
Yeah, he wasn't bad either. Buffaloes fall now to 1-6 in the season, 0-3 in Pac-12 conference play. It's not like it gets easier next week. You've got the Oregon Ducks, the national runner-up a year ago, a top 10 team coming into Folsom Field on Saturday. That's about as explosive an offense as there is in the country.
And even if their running back, Michael James, isn't in there, they still got a lot of other playmakers. And Colorado, the Buffaloes definitely have their work cut out for them next week against Oregon. It's homecoming, be a big crowd, so who knows? That's why you play the game.
Bottom line is there's no quick fix for what we're talking about here. It's a recruiting issue that John Emery and his staff have got to take care of over the long term.
Yeah, and I think they're doing it. From everything I can tell, they're getting some pretty good recruits, and but they've got to keep doing that. They've got to sustain that effort and do it over a few years to get up where they want this program to be.
So next week, it's the Oregon Ducks coming to Folsom Field for homecoming as a top 10 team comes calling. For the Buffaloes, it doesn't get any easier. They're now 1-6 in the season, 0-3 in the Pac-12 conference play. For Larry Zimmer, I'm Mark Johnson. It was all Huskies, in Seattle. Thanks for joining us here on our Buffs Recap on 850KOA.com.